Hello, I'm Sock Puppet Kingdom, and this is my GDQ submission video for Blob. Now, this game has seen quite a bit of improvement since I last tried submitting it to a GDQ. Quite a few new routes were discovered, quite a few new people joined the scene, and it is overall a much faster game. So time starts when I select Blob's mood, right now. Alright, so this game was originally released exclusively on the Wii in 2008, but in 2017 it was remastered for PC and current-gen consoles. I'll be playing the PC version for this. So this game is a 3D platformer, and your objective is to paint the environment. By painting the environment you get points, and by getting enough points you unlock the end of the level. So the objective in this run is to get the required points in as little time as possible. So here I'm going to do my first mission. I'm going to lock onto this paint bot, and it's going to give me 10 red paint points, which I'm going to use to paint this block here. I also did a little wall combo. I'll explain how those work later. So I completed my first mission there, and now I'm going to complete my second mission here. I'm going to paint this group of buildings orange. And then I'm going to talk to this character. Her name is Artie, and she's going to tell me I already completed her mission. And that's going to be a thing I'm going to be doing a lot. I'm going to be completing missions before talking to the characters that give them out, because it does save on dialogue. Now this thing I just slammed is called a transform engine. And what they do is they give you points. The amount of points varies depending on which one you slam into, but they paint the environment around you and they give you points. So this next area is where I'm going to be explaining wall combos, because that's where the majority of the points in this area are going to come from. So how wall combos work is you start off with 100 points per building. But when you combo them, you get a multiplier. And that multiplier caps out at 8. And you can potentially get quite a few points in that way. I know that theoretically it is possible to get 50,000 points with a wall combo alone. But it's pretty hard to do. So now that I have 50,000 points, I unlocked the transform engine, and I also unlocked the gate that blocked off the final part of this level here. So in the final part of this level, I'm just going to cross this bridge here. I'm going to do a little wall jump, because wall jumps are the fastest form of movement in the game. So it's always good to maximize the amount of wall jumps you do in your runs, because it does give you just that extra bit of speed compared to traversing normally. Okay. So that was good. And that's the end of level 1. So that timer at the end is your level timer. The game's runs are based off of in-game time, and in-game time is calculated by adding up all the level times together. Now for the next level, Uptown. Now this level is quite a bit bigger than that last level there. It's about 2 times as big. And if you see those characters in the background, those are called Inkies. They're the main enemy in the game. More powerful variants get introduced later on, but in this level, only the basic variant is present. So I'm setting up a mission here where you're supposed to paint that group of buildings blue and the group of buildings right next to it purple. That's going to come later. So I talked to that character Zip. He wants me to go through those checkpoints, but I'm going to take a slight detour in order to paint these buildings purple here. But I'm not going to paint all of them purple yet. I'm going to set up something called a multicolor bonus. So here's how multicolor bonuses work. In this game, buildings are divided into groups. And when you paint a group, you get a point bonus. And that point bonus increases the more colors you paint that group with. So I'm setting up some multicolors here in order to increase the amount of points I get. And I'm adding some colors there. And there you go. That's it, really. Okay. And now I'm going to complete this mission here. The game wants you to paint this group of buildings red. Since I colored those two buildings yellow and orange, I got a 3-color bonus from it. And there you go. So I set up quite a few missions there. I set up a Biff mission. That character's name is Biff, where he wanted me to beat all these Inkies down here. And I also set up a few Artie missions alongside it. So now I'm going to repaint those buildings purple for this mission. And there you go. And now I'm going to go and focus my attention on these guys. They're called Gradients. And you can get a pretty decent combo by freeing them here. I painted that block yellow for Artie. And now I'm going to paint this block green, as well as a block right beside it, for another Artie mission. And I'm going to leave that building as the last one I'm going to paint, because gradients spawn out of buildings with doors. And they spawn out of the building with a door that's closest to the last building you painted. So, for groups of buildings with multiple doors on them, that's pretty important, because if those gradients had spawned out of another door, then I wouldn't have been able to get a good combo there. So now I'm going to make myself red. I'm going to do a wall combo here until I get about 95,000 points. Alright. And there you go. I have about 100,000 points there. And what I just did there, those were called building repaints. So building repaints work because when you finish painting a group of buildings and then you paint one of those buildings a different color afterward, then you get what I call a repaint bonus. And it's an amount of points that you get, and it varies depending on the size of the group you repainted. And it's a bit more sophisticated than that, but we don't quite know the rules for it. So, right here, I'm going to take myself down this area here and try and get a good wall combo. Alright. Okay. I'm going to do some wall combos here. Alright. So that should give me enough points to unlock the end of the level. Okay, not quite, but it's close. Just a few more points and I'll be fine. Yeah. Alright, that's good. And you can just ignore all of this. Those leech bots, they are pretty annoying and they do appear later on, but they're not a huge deal. what they do is they latch onto you and they suck the pain points out of you until you die. But they're not a huge issue. So that's the end of Uptown. And now for Downtown. Now this level is interesting because despite it being the third level in the game, it's actually one of the longest levels. So it starts off here. You go down this one highway. And just hold on a bit. And you go up here and you talk to Artie. And she wants you to paint these billboards, so I'm going to paint these billboards while also doing some wall combos. And doing a wall combo is very important in this part of the level because you get quite a few points from it, and the amount of points you get here really do change how this route goes. So I got a decent amount of points there. I got over 20,000, which is usually really good. So just go like this. And here I just got inked by those things called heavy inkies. That's not a good thing usually. In fact, it's never a good thing. But it did happen there. And when you get inked, you basically just lose paint points until you die. And it's not fun, and it also messes with your movement physics, so it's not really useful for any intentional damage strats either. Okay, so now I'm going to paint these buildings here. Just try to paint all of them. While I do this zip mission. And now I'm going to do a few missions here. I was doing an Artie mission that required me to paint some billboards, as well as a Biff mission that required me to beat some Inkies. So I was able to do those. And now I'm going to finish off... Now I'm going to finish off this building group here. And I'm going to combo these gradients here. And yeah, that was pretty good. Alright. So next up, I'm going to be setting up something called a 7-color bonus. Now these are interesting. So basically a 7-color bonus is when you paint a group of buildings all 7 colors. Red, yellow, blue, orange, green, purple, and brown. And you can get quite a few points from it, but it is rarely the most optimal way to get points, except in a few rare instances, and this is one of them. So I'm going to just paint everything here, and there is a specific route set up for this. Orange, yellow, and the last color, green. Alright. So now I'm going to go up here. Artie wants me to paint these billboards, but that's not the main focus here. The main focus is the mission right after it, where Artie wants you to paint a bunch of buildings in this little area here red. So she wants me to paint every single building here red. I'm going to leave that building right there orange until I go back to her, though, because that will give me a 2-color bonus. And I'm also going to do a few little wall combos here. I'm going to just keep coloring these buildings red, and you might notice that building is purple despite me never touching it. That is actually a bug in all versions of the game. And I like to call it the wrong color bug. I unlocked the gate, but I'm not going to go down the gate quite yet. So now I'm just going to free these gradients, see if I can combo them all. It's not guaranteed that I can, but sometimes you can. And luckily I was able to, so that's good. Alright. So now I completed all those, and I should be good. And get a few repaints here. Alright. And that was really good. So now I'm in this bottom area. The game wants you to do some stuff here, but we're not going to do any of it. Instead, we're just going to get a bit of an inky combo here. And we're going to make ourselves big so that we can do the mission coming up, which is right up here. Artie wants you to paint these buildings along the ridge here. And that's pretty straightforward, although there are some hot plates that you need to avoid. Hot plates are pretty costly time-wise because you get stuck on them and you have to mash a button to get off. Although if you're on the Wii version, you have to shake the Wiimote and nunchuck to get off, and it's a bit faster than mashing a button. So then you go down here. You free these gradients. You get a few building repaints as well. And then you free some more gradients. And then you talk to Zip. So while I'm doing his mission, I'm going to be coloring this block of buildings red. So here, just go here. Go here. Alright. So now I'm going to get a few more paint points. I'm going to make it so they have over 50 purple paint points, which is very important for the mission coming up. So that character with the brown arrow, his name is Prof, and he wants you to go and transform this thing here, this water pump. And by transforming the water pump, you just mash a button in order to fill up a meter. But mashing buttons is slow, so I double mash the spacebar at the same time, like that. So that was pretty good. Okay. So now Zip wants to take me through these things called Z-jumps. Z-jumps are fairly self-explanatory. They are named after the nunchuck's Z button. Because this game was Wii exclusive, the nunchuck's Z button was the lock-on button in the Wii version. Okay, so I got the bronze medal. That's good. Which means I unlocked the end of the level. Alright. So that was pretty decent. And now we move on to Chroma Dam. Now this level is interesting because up until very recently, we've been using the IL route that was discovered by Mike89 back when this game was new on the Wii. So, but very recently we figured out a new route with the help of Waylon Wilt, who discovered a skip that, that skips quite a bit of the level in the later section. So now I'm just going to go here. This beginning part is still pretty unchanged from Mike's route. It's mainly the second half that has changed. And then we do the zip mission here, and there you go. It's finished. And then we do this prof mission. He wants you to fill this thing up with 30 blue paint points, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Double mash the spacebar, tap the button on the gamepad, and there you go. Okay. And wall combos are a very important part of this beginning section here. Without good wall combos, you will have far less points than required. And you have to sort of mess with the game's collision detection a bit to get that building. And then you color all these buildings red, and there you go. And now you beat all these inkies. And there you go, you save the heavy inkies for last because they give you more points, which means you get a better multiplier with them. Okay. Alright, so I have 60,000 points. That's pretty good. Having about 60,000 points usually means that you're safe in this section. So now I just have to color these two groups of buildings here. Do 2 colors for both of them. And some repaints as well. Alright, that's good. And then before I exit, I'm going to just paint these buildings quick here. And there you go. Alright, so this next part of the level is very interesting. Not only does it have the aforementioned skip, but it also makes heavy use of the building repaint mechanic. So I'm going to skip over these inkies, you don't really need them. And I'm going to talk to Prof here. He'll tell you to transform 2 buildings. This one he wants you to transform with 50 yellow paint points. Going to quick do that. And then he wants you to transform another one with 30 green paint points. So while I go to the next monument here, I'm going to just set up a multicolor bonus with these 2 blocks here. So, like that. Ooh. Not what I meant to do there. Okay. So yeah, like that. And then after that, you get a slight repaint bonus. Don't really need to use the gradients. Just need to go up and wall jump straight to the plaza. Now right here there's going to be an enemy called an Inky Tank. Now these tanks require all 100 paint points in order to beat. They are pretty difficult and it does suck when they hit you. So you just go there, then you hit the transform engine. And now you do some arty missions. So the first arty mission, she wants you to paint the tall buildings in this plaza orange. All of them. So I'm going to quick do that. Get about 70 paint points, that's usually a good bet. Do a small wall combo there. And here we go. Okay. And now we paint the lower... And now we paint the small buildings here purple for another arty mission. The one right here. And then you just continue on doing that. And there you go. And now for the building repaints. Now this is a very interesting part of the run because this is all a bunch of building repaints, and we're going to be getting about 20,000 points from building repaints alone. So you go here, then you go here, and then you go here, and that's it. And now it's time for the skip. So this skip, you just go across these buildings here. There are some invisible walls that you have to watch out for, but they're not that much of an issue. And I did sort of drop down there. That's fine. Not a huge time loss. You just go down here, and you go on this piston. Oops. So you go down here, and you go on this piston. I'm not going to go on the piston, I'm just going to do this as normal. So I wasn't able to get the skip there, but that's fine. I'm just going to do it like that, and then I'm going to drop down from the Z-jump there. And there you go. So obviously that's not optimal, but that is a backup. That is a viable backup strat. And I did get a good cycle on these pistons. So these pistons are ruthless. They will knock you all the way off the level if you mess up on them. And it is terrible when that happens. It basically kills the run. Alright, so now for the next level, Guggentra's Island. It is quite a bit smaller than Downtown and Chroma Dam. The main challenge in this level comes from the amount of enemies that it spams at you. In fact, I know that a lot of speedrunners have quit this game because of Guggentra's Island, because of how awful the enemy spam was. But this new route pretty much minimizes it completely, or at least as much as possible, and it's not really an issue at all. So I'm going to be setting up some group bonuses here. I'm also going to be utilizing the wrong color bug in order to color the block right in the distance there. So here's how the wrong color bug works. So the wrong color bug in this one, it colors buildings adjacent to the ones you just colored a random color. It's pretty useful for getting more points because those wrong colors are counted towards group bonuses. So now I'm going to do a multicolor on this block as well. Just gotta hold on here. Okay. So I'm gonna make myself yellow. It's gonna be a 5-color bonus. So yellow here, orange, and then for the last building I will color that one red. So the building right beside this one. So if you notice, I had to like do a zip mission. I did a zip mission at the beginning. That was automatic. You cannot quit out of that with through normal means. You can't do it through the pause menu or anything. And if you die, you just respawn at the beginning of the level. So instead, I just did that Biff mission, which prompted me to quit the mission I was doing, which was the zip mission, and I was able to quit it from there. So now with that out of the way, this area, you just ignore it completely. Everything else is just up here. Now, here it's going to be very interesting. So in this area, the game introduces you a new mechanic called the Rainbow Tank. So the Rainbow Tank gives you the rainbow power, which makes you invincible, and it also makes you cycle through the game's 7 colors. So by doing that, you can get multicolor bonuses pretty easily. It also automatically makes you the correct color for Arty and Prof missions, which is also very useful for certain things in this route. So I'm going to use my rainbow power to multicolor this little block here, and also get a few easy repaints out of it. So like that. So now with 100,000 points, I unlock the gate there. And this next area, just make yourself yellow and go up to this Prof mission, because he wants you to have 50 yellow paint points in order to transform that building over there. So I'm going to quick do that. And then I'm going to give myself the rainbow power again with this rainbow tank right here. So when I get this rainbow power, I am going to just go to this group of buildings here and color all of it. It should give me a 7-color bonus. And there you go. Like that. Okay. And then after that, you just do this Arty mission here. And she wants you to paint these 2 monorail stations red. Pretty easy to do. I'm just going to quick get a repaint here, because it does give you a few more points. Not going to hit that transform engine because you don't really need it. Alright. And now I unlock the gate. So when this cutscene plays, the monorail will still be going, and it'll look like I missed it, but I can just lock onto it, and it's fine. Alright. So that was pretty good. Now on to the next area of the game, the Docklands. Now, this level used to be the longest level in the run, but now it's one of the shorter levels in the run. So first I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna slam these paint bots. Now, here's the thing: paint bots actually add on to an Inky combo. So when I slammed onto those 4 paint bots, I actually started with a ×5 when I started the Inky combo. That gives you quite a few more points, obviously. Alright. And I'm painting those crates there because they are required for a multicolor as well as a mission later on. So now you just make yourself blue here. And we're going to be doing a 7-color on this ship because this 7-color gives you over 37,000 points. And it single-handedly unlocks the level gate. And we're also going to be doing this arty mission here where she wants you to paint those crates green. There you go. All right. Then go down here. Now the professor wants you to transform the ship with 50 yellow paint points, and that is actually required if you want to get the 7-color bonus. So there you go, I did the professor mission, did the arty mission, and I got the 7-color. And then I'm going to follow it off with a repaint, which gives you 5,300 points. And then I'm going to do this arty mission. Now she wants me to paint all these crates orange, and since I already painted those 2 crates red and blue respectively, I'm going to get a 3-color bonus from it. Alright. So that was pretty good. Now on to the next part. I'm going to be doing another arty mission where she wants me to paint all these crates 6 colors, all the colors except for brown. But I want a 7-color bonus, so I'm going to paint that crate there brown. Okay. Alright. And then paint these orange. And then go up here, paint these crates blue, drop down until that yellow paint bot spawns, and then paint the last crates green. And then paint this last crate yellow. And there you go, the challenge is complete. And now I'm going to make myself orange. I'm going to talk to Zip here. He's going to want me to go up that ship to the left of me, but I'm going to take a slight detour to the ship on the right. I'm going to set up a mission that requires me to paint these, to paint everything on this ship orange. So I'm going to paint the bottom row orange because it is easier to come back to that way. I'm going to try to avoid the inky turret until I go up here and slam it. I'm going to also make myself yellow here so that I can get an easy multicolor bonus later on. Just go like that, and there you go. Alright. So now after that mission, after the professor had me transform the ship, I'm going to go back and repaint parts of the ship until I paint all of it. Before I paint all of it. I'm going to be setting up another 7-color here. So I'm going to first go paint this silo orange, get yellow, paint these crates yellow, get green, brown, and now that the blue paint bot is spawned again, I'm going to make this silo blue, and this red paint bot is right here, so I'm going to make the rest purple. I'm going to use purple in this multicolor in the third ship. Now this is not going to be a 7-color, it's only going to be a 5-color. So right here, I'm going to just go up here, make myself brown, and then red, and then orange, in order to do the Professor transform. Which gave me a 5-color bonus, and now for this RD mission, she'll want me to paint everything orange, and I can just do that fairly easily. All right. And now this area, it's an entire area that I'm just going to skip completely. We are instead going to go into the area right after it because we have unlocked it with the amount of points we have now. And we're going to make ourselves rainbow, because in this area there are no yellow paint bots, which means that you cannot do any 7-color bonuses without the rainbow power. So we're going to be doing multicolors for all these blocks of buildings here, all these large blocks. Just keep doing them. And get the block here. Alright, that was pretty good. And go down here, and there you go. Now, the end of the level is unlocked. And that was bad. Oh, wow. Okay, yeesh. That was pretty bad. Okay, so this is pretty tough here. It's pretty easy to get past, but it does suck. So you just go up here, go through this level again. Try to avoid the turret. And there you go, now you're back. Okay, so that was bad. I swear that's never happened to me before. Alright. So now, on to Hanging Gardens. So this level's very interesting, because you skip almost all of it. And you only really do the beginning and the end of the level, and you skip everything in between. So I'm just gonna fatten myself up, make myself yellow, do a little wall combo here. And there you go. And then Prof will want me to transform this water pump, which I'm going to need to do in order to lower this ink level here. So just go down here. And there you go. Okay, so now the water level is lowered. I can now just make myself yellow here. And now a rainbow tank is going to pull up here, and I'm going to use that in order to use my rainbow power to get some easy multicolors in this area. Alright. So I'm going to be painting those two crates I just passed by last, because those cause the gradients to spawn out of a certain door. Then you go up here, and there you go. Alright. So now you go up to this Biff mission here. And he will want you to slam these inkies. And I should have about 100,000 points at the end of this. If not, then I can easily get those. And now I'm going to go down to the Abyss with a zip mission so I can get the extra points. And now I'm going to do a mission right here, which is a very, very bad one. So, right here you need to slam a bunch of inkies, but there's a bunch of stuff, and the collision detection gets you caught on them a lot. But luckily, I was able to get through the mission with very little issue. But a lot of things that can happen in that mission. One of the things that can happen is the lock-on will slam you into a tree, which will just fling you straight into the pool of ink. And it can get really bad. But luckily that didn't happen. Alright, so going up here, we'll then go talk to Biff and slam these heavy inkies. Alright. And going to ignore Zip there, because we don't really need his points for this route here. Talk to Zip here. He'll take you through, well, where we were going to go anyway. And after this Professor mission, everything else is going to be completely skipped, apart from the end of the level. So now, we're just going to go to the end of the level. Straight there. Oops. But yes, the rest of the level is indeed going to be skipped. So now we just go down here. And then going to shrink ourselves here because being small is required for for the end of the level, and I'll tell you why. It's for a skip. So you want to have at most 20 paint points coming out of this area. And we're going to just do a tiny wall combo here, which does give us a few extra points. And now we are going to do the skip. So, the gate in this level requires about 190,000 points to unlock, but we're not going to be doing it like that. We're not going to be unlocking that gate. We are instead going to go all the way down here, go this rainbow tank here, lock onto it through the invisible wall, and slam it. And there you go. Alright. And now I'm going to use my rainbow power in order to get some multicolor bonuses, as well as some wall combos. Both are pretty important in this part of the level. And just keep doing it. Go here. And we need about 220,000 points for the end of the level, which we were able to get pretty easily. Now, we need to be at most 20 paint points in order to be small enough for the next skip we're about to do. So, okay, now we're good. So, right here, there's a long tube that you're supposed to go down in order to reach the end of the level, and it's pretty long. So instead we're just going to go and squeeze through that little hole there, and there you go. Alright. So now for the next part of the level, Chroma City Fun Park. Now this level is fairly uninteresting. It's just like Hanging Gardens. Everything except the beginning and the end is pretty much skipped. Except even most of the end is skipped. This level is pretty much all the points in this level are pretty much all gotten in the beginning. So, here. Alright. And then we're going to slam onto these heavy inkies here. Gotta make sure to do it before they notice you, because they will ink you if they notice you. And now I am exactly 4 blue paint points, which is good because there is a blue inky here. Requires exactly 4 paint points to beat. And I can just make myself red for the red inky without having to wash myself off beforehand. A really nice time save there. And now we're just going to go and free these gradients here. I'm going to use that rainbow tank in order to get enough paint points to defeat this inky turret here. Now, it's very important that you do not use that rainbow power early, because you need it for a later part in the run. And getting that rainbow tank early basically kills the run. You cannot come back from it. So right now I am setting up an arty mission here. She wants me to paint these cell blocks here a combination of red and yellow. I painted all the yellow ones, so now it's time for the red ones. Oops. I'm not red. Alright. So that was pretty good. So now I'm going to just paint all these gradients. Go over here. And now I'm going to go up here. I'm going to ignore these inkies entirely and just going to go straight to this Artie mission. Now, she will want me to free some gradients that are right there at the bottom, and I'm going to paint these buildings so that another group of gradients is freed alongside them, and I can combo them both. And there you go. Now I'm going to do this prof mission. He wants me to paint a building brown. So I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to get this 1,000-point bonus. And I'm painting that building at the end brown, because an Artie mission coming up wants you to paint that group of buildings all 6 colors except for brown. So painting the ending building brown means I will get a 7-color bonus with very little trouble. So now I'm going to go back to the start of the level. I got inked, but that's completely fine, because there's a hydrant right there. So I can just wash off like that. So this is what the rainbow power is used for. I'm going to do this rainbow power. I'm going to talk to Artie here. She will want me to go up to these rafters here. And the rainbow power, she wants me to paint them any color. The rainbow power allows me to paint them a lot of colors, which will give me quite a few points. And I'm going to free these gradients, like so. And there you go. And that is that mission complete. And then I hit the transform engine. And then I talk to Zip. And his mission is very easy. It has exactly 2 markers and they're right next to each other. One of them is over a barrier. The game wants you to go around the barriers, but you can just jump over the barrier like that. And it's basically free points. But sadly, I don't have a lot of points right now, so I'm going to have to grind for a few here. Alright, now I'm good. So yeah, that building required all 100 paint points in order to transform. And that is why I didn't want to press that button, because it spawned a bunch of leech bots. And it's really annoying in that area, and dealing with them is usually a pretty big time loss. And seeing as you have exactly 0 paint points when they spawn, they are pretty dangerous. So this entire area here is skipped, and we just go straight to the end of the level like so. Then we go here, paint these billboards because they're 500 points each. Talk to Zip here. And we're just going to paint this these cell blocks here. It's part of a building group. Do a 2-color bonus, free the gradients to come out. And then we go down to this area. So this area is interesting. You have a building that's affected by the wrong color bug. As you can see, it's brown. And that's going to be part of the points that we're going to get in this mission. So this mission is a lot easier to do with the rainbow power, so we're going to do that. Now, one building isn't part of this mission, so the rainbow power just colors it a random color, usually orange. So we just got a 4-color bonus on that. And that's the end of the level. Just wait for it to unlock. And there you go. Alright. So now for Ministry of Ink. Now, this is the final full level of the game. I say full because the next level is fairly linear, which we'll get to after this level is finished. And this level has some very interesting segments, including something called the Mega Reactor. Although that's not going to be immediately, that's going to be later on. But right now, Biff is going to tell you to destroy a bunch of these turrets. So first I'm going to make myself orange, but I'm not going to hit the turrets yet. There's a rainbow tank right down here, and I'm going to hit that beforehand. Okay. Now this is pretty time sensitive because there is a block later on that requires quite a bit of time left on your rainbow power, and it's not guaranteed that you're going to get it. So luckily I was able to get it. Alright. So the mission after this requires you to paint this group. I mean, well, this isn't a mission. Alright. Okay, and there you go. And now we're going to just keep painting all these groups here, get some group bonuses. Hold on, did I get this area? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's all the way down here. It's usually good if the gradients spawn from the other building, but that's fine too. Alright. Alright. So now after that we're going to go up here, and we're going to free the gradients here. And then we're going to jump on top of these warehouses here. Which will give you a bit of an extra bonus, and since purple wasn't part of this, I'm going to paint this rest of this area purple. Alright, so now I got about 123,000 points. That's really good for this area. It means that there really won't be any issue at all, points-wise. that starting area is pretty important when it comes to getting points, so... Okay. And now I'm going to just color this group here. These circles. Just like that. And like that, the gate is already unlocked. So now here's the Mega Reactor. This is a very interesting part of the game. It's pretty linear. There isn't much room for experimentation. But you can mess up pretty easily. And when you mess up, the time loss is huge. In fact, I had to re-record the submission video because I messed up on the Mega Reactor. So it starts off with having to transform 3 monuments, 3 water pumps, as you can see here. And you just keep going. Now here's the hard part, the hexagons. Okay, so the game also wants you to paint a bunch of hexagons a certain color. However, it wants you to paint them in a very specific way. And it really doesn't like it if you stray from this path. The game also sometimes likes to bug out here with something I like to call the rolling bug, which is essentially when the game thinks you are sliding off of a surface. And when you're sliding off of a surface, you cannot jump, you move really slow, and you also do not exit that state of movement until you either lock onto something or hit the ground somewhere. And it can get pretty bad. But luckily I'm able to get a good Mega Reactor here. So, my last submission video, I had the rolling bug pretty badly. So this is the rolling bug, by the way. It's really awful. And you can't really do much about it. So... it can really mess up a run. But luckily, that's the only time I encountered it in this run, so... like that, the Mega Reactor is finished. So you just wall jump to the end here, and there you go. Well, we gotta get to this Z jump as well. Alright. And now a bunch of these Inkies, just slam them. That's all well and good. If you want, you can go for some wall combos here, but it's not necessary at all. Just go straight to this one prof mission, where he wants you to transform this building with 30 paint points. And that is pretty much the last thing you need to do, the last mission you need to do in this level. So then you just go down here, you open the gate, and then you get the rest of your points by slamming a bunch of Inkies. Just wait for them to spawn here. Do a few wall combos in the meantime. Alright, that was really good. And I have enough points to get to the end of the level. Now, this thing I'm going to do here is called Pit Skip. So that road to the side of me is a trick. If you go down it, then the bridge will collapse, and you will fall into a pit, and you can't get out until a certain amount of time has passed. Which obviously isn't good. So instead, you just wall jump along the side of the level, and it's a lot faster. And now for the last level, Lake Radia. Now once again, this level is quite a bit more linear than the rest of the game, by quite a big degree. So it starts off like this. So you know how I said that the in-game timer is paused during character dialogue? Well, this is actually utilized here. So you see that blimp flying by? The in-game timer is paused. So I can just let that blimp fly by. And without that blimp flying by, it will actually block certain parts of the route, and that's obviously not good. So I just wait. And it's a lot better that way. Alright. And then you just go all the way down here. So in this level, you essentially just, in the first half of it, you just do all the missions until you get onto the second half. And you basically just get all your points in this half of the level. So I'm going to do all the missions here. And then I go down here and I get a few extra points by doing this zip mission, and while I'm doing this zip mission, I'm going to be walking diagonally. So by doing this, I'm painting the silos, and these silos are part of a group bonus. So I'm also doing a group bonus at the same time here, and this gives me about 1,000 extra points. And there you go there, and then you just beat all the enemies in this level. Do the prof mission with the rainbow power. And then do this Artie mission. She wants you to free all these gradients at the bottom of the ship. Just do that. And this is the last mission that you really have to do. After this, you just go straight to the final boss. Alright. And then just paint these cranes for a little multicolor bonus there. So now I have about 84,000 points, which is pretty good. And I sadly got the rolling bug again. Just hold on until I'm able to just go there. Pretty unfortunate, but it happens. That's usually where the rolling bug happens on those ships. Okay, so now we're on the ship. Now, we basically just skip the entirety of the ship. First, we jump on this forklift, we wall jump off here, and then we jump onto those pipes, and then we just go up here, and that had already skipped a large part of the level right there. Alright. So that was pretty good. Alright. So now I got all 90,000 points required to unlock the final boss gate. And then after that, you just wall jump right to the end of the level. And that had also skipped quite a bit. And you go straight to the final boss. Like so. Alright. So now we're just going to wait here until the final boss, known as Comrade Black, spawns. So just wait, and there you go. So I made myself green before this battle, and that's because the first phase of this battle requires you to paint things green. So you gotta first go here. Go here. And there you go. That's the first phase done. And now the next phase, you have to paint these hexagons orange and purple. Make sure to jump on them instead of just painting the sides of them, because when Comrade Black aims his gun, it'll make sure that he doesn't shoot the hexagons and, you know, removes the paint on them. And that was pretty good, too. So I'm going to make myself orange again for the next phase coming up, which is orange, purple, and green. That was pretty close there. But all in all, this is an extremely good Comrade Black. Make myself purple here. Bit of a whoopsie-daisy there. Not nearly as bad as some of the mistakes I've made on this boss. So then you go here. Hit the boss again. And now, for the final phase, brown is added into the mix of colors. And then orange. And now for the final color, brown. Okay. Now, I defeated the final boss, but time doesn't stop yet. Time stops when I hit the transform engine right here. So, now it is time. And that was the Blob. This is a really good speed game, and it does have a lot of very unique movement mechanics, and I do think it would be a good selection for the marathon, so I do hope it gets considered. And I would like to... And, yeah. Thank you.